Nioh 2 is an action RPG third-person shooter tea time simulator where you harness your inner demons to go full goblin mode on your enemies. It is one of the most engaging, intriguing, stimulating, and addicting games you will ever play. I bought this game 6 days ago and I've already played for 61 hours and haven't even started the DLC or New Game Plus. What has my life come to? If you need something to satisfy your ADHD urges and want to come close to experiencing excessive crap addiction, then I suggest you buy this game now. There's enough combos to fulfill anyone's most deranged power fantasies. Of course, this is the prequel to 2017's Nioh, but don't worry, there are no British people in this game, at least for the most part. So, if you've ever wanted to roleplay as a realistic 16th century ninja warrior, let me welcome you to Nioh. The combat is what makes this game great, so let's start with the basics. Basically, there's nothing basic about it. Like most Souls, like stamina management is the name of the game, but with a little twist. During combat, you can perform what's known as a key pulse to regain some of your lost stamina. None of that piss baby waiting game stuff. There are 3 different stances you can switch between depending on if you want speed or damage. On top of that, you get to carry 2 different weapon types from a selection of 9, each with their own unique skill trees. Combined with 3 stances per weapon, you get what we call variety. With so many weapon choices, there's definitely one that fits your personal sadistic fantasies. I personally started the game with dual sword medium armor build and ended the game with a dual sword light armor build. Variety. Along with your basic weapon, you can also Mega Evolve, which allows you to go absolutely sicko mode. There are many Pokemon you get to collect on your journey, but for your starter, you have 3 choices. I chose the whale because, I don't know, I thought it was cool. Throughout the game, you can enslave basic enemies by stealing their beating hearts and forcing their souls to fight for you. With all this combined, you get some of the most exhilarating, engaging, satisfying, Adderall-infused combat you'll ever experience. And I won't even go into the ninjutsu or magic skills, but they're pretty cool too. On a more complicated level, every weapon has 4 different rarities, 6 in New Game Plus, and corresponding randomized stat bonuses. Remember when I said this was an action RPG? I lied. Nioh 2 at its core is a loot-based beat-em-up. Think Diablo Immortal with less sexual misconduct, and without the greed meets Pokemon with the absurdity of Earth Defense Force merged with The Witcher, and they all had a baby with Sekiro. That's Nioh 2. And trust me, there aren't many games that do loot spreads like Nioh. And if all of this seems too complicated for you, just remember, you always have the Second Amendment. Now I know what you're thinking, we have all these tools at our disposal, but what do we get to use them on? Well, you can follow the orders of our great leader and exterminate the local bird population. Using your vast skills, you can also recreate one of humanity's worst moments. On a serious note, the enemy variety is cool sometimes. Some enemies fly, others fly with wings. Have you ever wanted to perform a post-birth abortion? Go ahead. Come across a preschooler you don't like? Shoot him. Grandma didn't make enough pie for you? Kill her. Hey, Kirby's here. Oh no, it's a white man. You know what to do. Naked steak lady wants to give me a hug? I'm okay with that. Did I hear Zoro Force Sword style? Squirrel wearing its own scrotum as a hat? Seems normal to me. Wait, what the f? Once you get to the DLC, that's when shit really starts cracking. Look, even bigger bird. Piss baby man. Kinky Scythe Mommy. Actually, there's 4 of those. And who could forget the all-powerful Drip Lord? And do not fret my cultured folk, there are a few top-tier waifu candidates. You have your vanilla strong female characters, your next Neko Mimi cat waifu, or my personal favorite. One of my favorite interactions is when you come across these wall enemies and emote on them so hard they kill themselves. Now, being a Souls-like, the bosses are the main draw, and you can probably guess that Niohs are difficult, but in a fun and engaging way. And you'd be right, most of the time. The bosses in Nioh exist on a spectrum from beautiful dance where you meticulously learn each move and use split-second reactions to slowly overcome a seemingly grandiose and impossible challenge, all for some happy chemicals to be released in your brain. Or, you're this thing. Eat shit and die, you worthless piece of garbage. I hope you rot in hell. I will end your lineage. Depending on your playstyle, some of the bosses are extremely difficult and some are cakewalks, but it varies from player to player. Like I've heard some people die to this guy 46 times and I don't understand how. Not saying that it was easy, but on the flip side, the first time I fought the final boss, I wanted to use the Harakiri sword in real life. To an outsider, it may seem weird we're fighting a big titty cat girl with a wheelchair. To understand that, you must know the story. Nioh 2 is set in a fantasy land called Japan during the so-called Sengoku period. You play as a human yokai hybrid with the goal of I actually don't know what your motivation is because your character is neurodivergent and only communicates by doing this. And apparently people understand that. On your journey, you come across one Tokichiro, a methamphetamine dealer and full-time meat rider who needs protection from rival gangs attracted to his product. His special brand of crack unlocks your ability to see into the 9th dimension and access superhuman levels of crackhead energy. You meet with his distributor, who also happens to be your deadbeat father, but that's kind of just mentioned and forgotten about, so I don't feel bad about spoiling it. You eventually move into the big leagues and start working with the Lord Nobunaga in his quest to establish a drug empire spanning all of Japan. There's also a rival gang member who hunts you down throughout the story and killed your mom in the opening scene, so you might want revenge, but that doesn't become important until way later. The timeline of this game may seem difficult to follow as your character is immortal and participates in 70 years of Japanese history. You'll watch one cutscene and the very next takes place 16 years later. Being that the story is based on true events, some call it historical fiction, but I disagree. Everything you see in this game is canonically accurate. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a deep state agent sent to keep you brainwashed. Lord Nobunaga did really exist. I refuse to believe his flaming panther spirit wasn't real. During your adventure, you will come across some beautiful sights, and I must applaud the unique and diverse level design. Don't get me wrong, quite a few of the side missions are just repeats of old levels, but when you get to the next story mission, it's completely worth it. The shifting cherry blossoms, burning cities, a stray cat island, the underground Australian temple, and is this Texas? It seems the governor forgot to turn on the heating again. That covers most of the core content in Nioh, so I think it's time we talk about the extracurricular activities. Finishing the final mission is just a new beginning. When you beat the game, you unlock 3 DLCs, as well as the first New Game Plus difficulty out of 4. But no matter where you are in the game, you will always come across a few collectibles like hair and children. Oh my god, you fucking killed him. Finding these small tree spirits does serve a purpose, as they reward your curiosity by blessing you with their godlike powers and giving you bonuses such as dropping more items and getting more crack. And if the loot grind is getting too repetitive, you can always visit your local arms dealer, a fucking preschooler. Oh no, he has the anime flower. As you become more powerful, you'll gain access to the high-class hidden tea house where you can appraise your limited edition teacups while partaking in a player-on-player race war. While on missions, you will come across the graves of other players which you can do battle with. It's not that cool. The Revenants are only AIs using that player's gear, but does still serve a purpose. When you kill a Revenant, they have a chance to drop their loot, making grinding for new gear easier. Most importantly, you gain glory, which is added to your team's total, determining which race is superior. So, be a real patriot and die for your country, boy. All of this, and I haven't even mentioned the character creator. It's in-depth, it's addicting, and you will definitely spend your first few hours refining the smallest details of your facial structure. I personally model myself after my favorite comic book character. Now, I know some of you may share my specific mental illness, so let me give you a warning. If you're thinking about getting all the achievements, just know it's quite the grind. You have to master every weapon class, do a bunch of random side missions, then beat the stupid mission from the final DLC on New Game Plus Plus, where every boss takes 10 minutes to kill and will one-shot you. This level has 17. I have 100 hours on this character and I still get clapped. This is bullshit. This is stupid. Whoever came up with this achievement, fuck you. Before I end the video, I should mention the multiplayer. Is it good? Apparently, but I wouldn't know. Something about my crippling social anxiety prevents me from interacting with other human beings in the simplest of ways. And none of my imaginary friends play this game, but playing with the AI is broken and quite amusing, so I'll stick with that. So, should you buy this game? Objectively, yes. This is not an opinion, it is a threat. If you enjoy in-depth combat and want to start your own Thrombus collection, I couldn't recommend it enough. From what I hear, the community can be quite supportive and enjoyable for new players, but you must find that out yourself. Personally, I will not rest until I get that nice ribbon, no matter how much I increase my risk of going into cardiac arrest before age 20. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a religious meeting I need to attend.